Okay, watch this. This is top of the line Sears pressure washer. It's over there. I got my hand on the gun right now, right? I'm gonna go ahead and release this trigger right now. Watch over there. And I'm gonna let my hand off the wand now. Top of the line. This thing was $570 plus tax. Out the door was $609 and change. Not only does it have that going on with it, but the pump on it is all brass versus aluminum. So the replacement pumps on the typical ones are 80 bucks. This one's $100, a $300 pump. I don't know, I think I'm gonna keep this one. The battery, the little battery it came with is dead. I can't get that one to charge up, so I just tested it with a bigger battery. But here, I'll show what I'm talking about. Under here, there's the electric starter and all that good stuff. Here's your, you can do it manual start if you want, or the grip and go, or you just put your hand on the trigger and it starts up on its own. You let off the trigger, within 20 seconds it stops. 3,000 PSI max, 2.7 max gallons per minute. So this is the, you know, the top pressure one as far as the pressure goes in a residential. There's your charging port. Of course, you could just charge a battery like a normal battery, just stick the clamps to it. Let me, all right, is it unplugged? Yeah. Let me show this pump. See, this pump, all these components are made of brass. So this thing can't crack. Also, the regurgitation valve inside of here can't warp into the aluminum like the other one does. Because, you know, if you let your hand off the trigger for more than 40 seconds, they say the thing can overheat, and the bypass valve inside of there will seize up and it'll stay in, you know, just you know, no flow, no pressure, just low flow circulation. Not this one. This one is all brass, so it's much. This one will last a much longer time than the other one would. Now I'm going to show a regular pump versus that one. I've already got two that are bad on the regular average pressure washers because, you know, you leave water in them when it gets cold, let's say it cracks them. That brass will not crack like this. So here's the typical one right here. You see all this is aluminum. All this stuff cracks. So this is an $80 pump. You go to replace it. That one over there is $300, but the chances of having to replace it are much slimmer because of the way that one's made. It's got the 190cc Briggs with the electric start. I think I'm going to keep this one. I like the pressure on it. I like the way it starts without me having to pull the thing and stops on its own. So I think I'm going to end up keeping this one and sell the Honda one I got, which has the same pump. It just doesn't have this fancy, smanchy stuff going on with it. So that's what this is all about. 8.75 foot-pounds gross torque, 190cc. Capable of powering your 3,000 PSI max. This is Sears top of the line. They don't even sell it anymore, I checked. But when they did, it was $569.99 plus tax. You add tax onto this thing, it was $609 and change. That was without warranty. This was the rich man's residential top of the line unit. You couldn't get any higher. It came with the 5-in-1. I got one on here that you can just rotate and it'll go any, you know, more than 5-in-1. I think it'll do soap too, but if not, I have a soap one, so that don't matter. So that's the story on this one, and Sears gave this one to me with like 8 other units. I didn't have to do anything to it. I put gas in it, it started right up. I hooked the water up to it, it powered right up. I didn't have to do anything to it. I cleaned the air filter. You know, I put some good fresh gas in it. It started right up. I charged the battery that it came with. That battery's dead, so I just tested it with a bigger battery. The thing's starting right up. I can't believe it. I don't understand why it was even brought in for service. There's nothing wrong with it. So, that's the story on this thing. It's 2014. So it's 5 years old, which isn't really that old. I've had a couple. I have one that's from 2016, but I think I just sold that one already. But anyway, they say they don't even sell this one anymore. The ones they sell now, I saw at the Lowe's, they're junk. And the ones they still do sell at Sears, they're not so hot anymore. And they still have this style unit with the 175cc for about $369.99, I think, plus tax. But that's got the regular cheap pump. These are better units, these Sears units. So that's the story on that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. It's so fancy.